we started series of talks on the theme, the reality. This is the second on the same theme, reality part 2, if you want to call it so. Well, towards the end of the talk last week, I was referring to Ishavasya Upanishad, which is the first Upanishad among the 10 prominent Upanishads. Upanishads that are in wide circulation, widely read, are 10 in number. And among them, Ishavasya Upanishad is the first one. I made 4 points that Ishavasya Upanishad speaks of. We left at that stage. We'll try to elaborate point after point, taking Swami's literature and discourses into account as the main source of our understanding and awareness of the subject. I strongly believe that every scripture has to be read and presented from the background or the backdrop of Sai gospel or Sai discourses to make the topic easily understood and practiced. In so doing, I may have to quote some of Swami's poems in Telugu, and that language is not known to all of you or to most of you. This I am not doing to exhibit my scholarship. I am not doing to exhibit my memory or power of recapitulation either. This is only to establish authenticity and the credibility of the statements I make. But I do not leave you at that stage. I will give you English translation to those verses as well. We will be also coming across some Sanskrit statements in brief. I am not going to mention all of the entire canto or sloka. I will mention only part of it, which is very important. Therefore, we are going to have this new exercise of being bilingual, English and Telugu, which I am sure you will bear with me. As you are bearing with me and my translation there, you have become sufficiently patient enough, good enough, kind enough to bear with my translation now, this morning. My friends, the first point that Ishavasya Upanishad tells you is that the whole cosmos or the whole universe is full of divinity. There is nothing in this universe without divinity. Ishavasyam idam sarvam. Ishavasyam idam sarvam. Meaning the whole of the universe is full of divinity. Nothing else. Neither the world nor the individual. Neither the organic or inorganic. Neither the living nor non-living. Everything is divine, that's all. That is the first point which I said last week. It is also worthwhile to know that there is only one without the second. When I say it is only divine, I do not mean that there is anything else in existence. It is only God that exists, that's all, nothing else. All the rest is our imagination, or delusion, or illusion, or hallucination, but not the reality. That's what I said last time. Now, what does Baba say on this? Bhaskara bimbe deeptam daivam lochana madhye sutam daivam sitala kirane guptam daivam trigunita bhuvane vyatam daivam sitala kirane guptam daivam trigunita bhuvane vyatam daivam bhaskara bimbe deeptam daivam. This is taken from Bhagavan's discourses. What does he say about this? The sun and sunlight are divine. I am able to see, and this vision, this sight, the power of seeing is divine. The moon and the moonlight are divine. The whole world, the whole universe, with the three attributes, is also divine. So in this stanza, Bhagavan explains the all-pervasive aspect, nature of the divinity. Another occasion, Bhagavan says, Agashamala gatram daivam Tarara visesi netram daivam Akashamala gatram daivam Tarara visesi netram daivam Vyapaka mandala hasitam daivam Vyapaka mandala hasitam daivam Paravara svedam daivam Paravara svedam daivam Akashamala gatram daivam. In this stanza, Bhagavan explains the whole space is divine. Whole space. The whole space, the sky, everything is divine. Moon, sun, stars, they are divine. That which is spread all over is divine. Rivers, oceans, their waters, they are divine. That's what Swami says. Meaning, the entire creation is totally divine. Next sloka Swami says, Posha vidhane sitam daivam Sosha vidhane tapanam daivam Sosha vidhane sitam daivam Sosha vidhane tapanam daivam Sishta vidhane vikasat daivam Pralaya vidhane malik daivam Pranaya vidhane malik daivam. This is the next sloka where Swami explains Posha vidhane sitam daivam. How do you think that you maintain yourself? How do you think that you sustain yourself? How are you able to carry on in this world? This life is because of God. Not only that, the sustenance, the creation, the annihilation, Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, the generation, the organization, and the destruction, Srishti, Sthiti, Laya, the creation, sustenance, annihilation, everything is divine. Everything is God's work. Pralaya vidhane, the pralaya, withdrawal of the entire universe. Pralaya, the destruction of the whole thing, is also divine. That's what Swami says. So there is nothing that is not divine in this world. In the next sloka, Swami explains, Shaile Shaile Viharam Daivam Vipine Vipine Vyaptam Daivam Shaile Shaile Viharam Daivam Vipine Vipine Vyaptam Daivam Grame Grame Kyatam Daivam Nagare Nagare Vasitam Daivam Nagare Nagare Vasitam Daivam Shaile Shaile. See this. On the mountain tops, you find God moving. The mountain is God. On the mountain top, you feel God. You feel divine. Nothing less than that. Deep in the forest, down the valley, you find God. In every village, you feel Him, you'll find Him. In every city, you see Him. In other words, be that a village or a city, the deep forest, deep in the sea, down the valley, up the mountain, you find God. Nothing else other than God. Devotees experience Bhagavan in different places. A person was just walking across the city. It was time when all hotels are closed. This man is feeling hungry from South India. Walking along the main street there in Washington. There's nothing to eat. What is to be done? Right from the morning he is very busy with the conference because he happened to be a member in the scientist delegation. As defense advisor, he went there. And he says, at 10:30, 11 o'clock in the night, I find Ganapati Vilas in Washington DC, United States of America. Ganapati Vilas. There you could have idli and sambar also. This is the one narrated by, explained to all of us by Dr. S. Bhagavantham, the Chief Advisor, Department of Defense, Government of India. In front of Bhagavan, he shared this miracle. You also know how Bhagavan directed the helicopter in which a devotee was traveling, Sinclair, and he was not knowing where to get down. He missed the track. There in the space, he hears Baba's sound. Turn to the left, turn to the right, right over there. There in the space, he finds Swami. We also heard of an instance when the ship was almost sinking. When the captain was praying to God, the whole ship was rescued. And Bhagavan tells how he lifted the whole ship such that it would never sink, that all the passengers would be safe. He is there in oceans. He is there in villages. It's also brought to our notice how an old man lost his track deep in the forest, having gone with his grandson on a picnic. This old man would have stayed back at home. Why should he go with the grandson? Unfortunately, the mind refuses to age, though body ages. Body turns old, but the mind does not accept it. The mind says you are pretty young and dynamic. There lies the problem. If the mind also reconciles with the fact that body is aging, body and mind cooperate, understand each other, we'll be peaceful. But we are not, because the mind rebels. Though body joint pain say you are old, the mind says no, don't mind, never mind. What if? The body says don't eat, the mind says why not eat it? So this old man joined the company of his grandson, and and had been to the picnic. And in the forest he lost his track because he cannot walk as fast as kids. Well, it's at twilight time, it's getting dark and darker. What is to be done? Then suddenly a young boy comes and says, Grandpa, I'll show you the way. This little boy takes his hand and follows him to the point of destination, the bus where all children are to board and go back. After some time, when that old man comes for the interview, Swami tells him, why do you follow kids? You would have been lost in jungles. See that? Vipine vipine vyaptam daivam. To Sinclair, on the mountain top, he tells him where to go. Saile, saile, viharam daivam. On the mountain they go, turn to the left, turn to the right. And this old man, in the forest he is directed. In villages you find today, the villagers experiencing Swami's miracles in a number of ways. Perhaps it is rather too late to mention that vibhuti comes from Swami's pictures. People have been experiencing a lot in villages. And when you watch the faces of the villagers that come to visit Prashant Nilayam, unashamedly, we have to feel very little in front of them. We should not feel shameful to admit that fact. The villagers, when they see Swami from a long distance, their faces will have a glow of 1,000 candle bulb. Floodlights. Villagers, because they are so happy. Because they experience him there in their villages. Thousands of examples I know. Why I should say, Grame grame khyatam daivam. In every village Baba is known. In every village Baba is experienced. Nagare nagare vasitam daivam. In every city there is God. Those people who are all alone at home, they enjoy His company. If I say, are you alone? No, I am not alone. There is Baba by my side. I and Baba are together. I am never alone. Why? Nagare nagare vasitam daivam. Therefore, my friends, the first point that Ishavasya Upanishad tells is Ishavasyamidam sarvam. Ishavasyamidam sarvam. The whole universe is full of divinity. Nothing but God, the one without the second. That is the first statement. And these are the poems written by Bhagavan in support of that. What is the second statement of Ishavasya Upanishad? Tyenat chiktena punjidah. Tyenat chiktena punjidah. What does it mean? Tyenat chiktena, give up, sacrifice, get rid of, forget about it. Tyenat chiktena, sacrifice, give up. Punjidah, then you eat. These two seem to be contradictory. You have water, I say give up and drink. How can you give up and drink? You have got delicious items, food served in front of you. I say give up and eat. How can you give up and eat? It's not possible. Chena chiktena, give up. Bunjita, eat. Two contradictory statements. But what does it mean? What is to be given up, my friends? If we go deeper and deeper into the Upanishadic interpretation as per Adi Shankara, what are to be given up? Only two, the name and form, Nama and Rupa. we follow Adi Shankara's interpretation of Upanishads. Because Bhagavan's discourses are also totally in agreement with Adi Shankara's interpretation. Adi Shankara's school of non-dualism, Advaita, is in full agreement with Bhagavan's discourses, which are basically non-dualistic, Advaita. Therefore, Chena Chiktena, what ought to be given up? What ought to be sacrificed? Nama and Rupa, name and form. Then what is to be done? Bhunji daha. Then partake, eat. What? Meaning experience. You experience. So bhunji daha, meaning you experience. You taste it. When do you taste it? Chena chiktena, after giving up, after sacrificing. So what should I taste? You taste divinity. You taste that principle of consciousness. You taste that Atma, the spirit. Therefore, those of us who have no idea of the taste of Atma should understand that we have not given up Rupa and Nama. We have not sacrificed name and form. Therefore, we are not able to experience the Atma or consciousness. Therefore, Ishavasya Upanishad lays a condition here. Sacrifice Rupa and Nama, name and form. Then taste the Atma. What does Baba say about this? Kanulakakubadu drishyam muganchi nivu satyam midiyanchaku sambaramuna. Kanulakakubadu drishyam muganchi satyam maniyanchaku sambaramuna. All that you see with the physical eye, all that you see with the naked eye is not true, my friend. Don't jump in joy. Don't be ecstatic. Don't be mesmerized. Don't be deluded by this world that you see, by the scenario around, by this world that is highly attractive. Is not real, understand it. Teranu dagina satyam telusukonaga. Teranu dagina satyam telusukonaga. Vishramimpaganaatoda vedali rendu. Vishramimpaganaatoda vedali rendu. Vishramimpaganaatoda vedali rendu. There are 3 points in this beautiful poem. Don't be carried away by this outer world. Don't think it is true. Don't think it is a reality. The first thing. And the next thing, to know the reality behind the curtain of illusion, to know the truth behind this curtain of delusion, walk with me, come along with me, says Bhagavan Sri Sathya Sai Baba. Come along with me, don't be lazy. Don't be lazy. Don't be in sleep and slumber. Don't be a glutton. Come on, walk with me, come with me. Why? To know the reality. Where is it? Behind the curtain. What is the curtain? The curtain of illusion. So, to know that reality behind the curtain of illusion, come on, walk with me without being lazy. That's what Bhagavan says. Provided you understand that what you see is not true. What you see, the world, is not the reality. That's what he said. Chena chiktena bhunjida. Chena chiktena. Give up this identity. Book has a name and form. Mike has a name and form. You and I have names and forms. Forget about it. Just don't think of all that you see is true. Because all the objects, all the things, all the individuals around are of names and form. The whole world is full of names and forms. Therefore, this Upanishad says, give up that name and form. Don't think that name and form are true. No. The reality is behind the curtain of illusion. Walk with me, I will show you, I will tell you. Baba gave an example. He tells, what is this? This is kerchief. No. Bundle of threads. No. Cotton. Correct. So what is this now? Cotton. So out of the cotton, threads are made and threads are waved into kerchief. So what is the reality? Kerchief is the name and form. But threads, no name and form. And cotton, that's all. It is the main material. I cannot say to the cotton, oh, Mr. Anil Kumar, what are you having on your hand? I am having cotton. If I say this is cotton, what do you think? You will never come next week. Because you don't want to listen to a madman, I am sure. Can I say this is cotton? No. This is kerchief with a name and form, but it is not. If you go beyond the name and form, it is cotton. Similarly, the world is full of name and form, but if you go beyond, you will find formless, nameless reality, that is the divinity. Another example, rings, earrings, made up, and waist belt made up of gold. Waist belt is gold. Rings are gold, bangles are gold. Because they are all pure gold, I cannot have a bangle here and try to have the earring there. Not possible. Sizes are different, names are different, and they have to be kept at specific places. But they are not different, made out of gold only. So I cannot ask anybody, put some gold into your finger and come out. It's a ring. So names and forms are for utility. Srungaramulu veru bangaramokate. Srungaramulu veru bangaramokate. Jewels are many, but gold is one. Pasula vanelu veru, pasula vanelu veru, pamu okate. There may be black cow, brown cow, white cow, but they all yield white milk only. You don't get black milk out of black cow. Nowhere. See that? Darshanam guluveru daivamukate. Paths are many, but they lead to same God. Pulajatuluveru pujavukate. There are so many flowers. The roses and jasmines. You don't have jasmine worship, rose worship, chrysanthemum worship, dahlia worship. No. Flowers are many, but worship is one. Jiva jatulu veru, jiva jatulu veru, janma mokate. Beings are many, but breath is one. Rupa nama mulu veru, Rupa nama mulu veru, Narayanundakade. The names and forms are many, but God is only one. This only one we will realize. We will be able to taste Punjida, provided Chena Chaktena, we give up name and form. That is the second concept of Ishavasya Upanishad. Then Swami tells further, Namu gunaku nityam manidehamu పుట్టి ముంచునది నట్టేటన్, పుట్టి ముంచునది నట్టేటన్. Don't think that the body is permanent. Don't think that you are going to be permanent. No. We may look so handsome while standing in front of the mirror. We are already deluded, and the mirror will delude us further and further. The mind refuses to accept the reality. The mirror also supports the mind. No one will accept that he is going to die, that he is temporary when he looks at the mirror, because the hairstyle and everything is quite nice. I am not going to die. No. So after all, body is like a water bubble. Mind is like a mad monkey. This is ephemeral, momentary, transitory. It may vanish, disappear any moment. Well, you are lost when you are taken away all of a sudden. We have so many plans ahead of us, so many plans to occupy neighbor's land, so many plans to take away all the money from banks, breaking the locks, so many plans to become leaders and topmost people. Fine morning, breathe our last. That is the end of life. What will happen to plans? That death is the master plan, the divine plan. Things go according to master plan, not according to man plan. Our planning commission plans in a human way, but God has no commission. No. He will simply command. He will take you away, that's all. Therefore, when it is going to end, we do not know. Bhagavan said at one time, even cameraman, photographer will say, be ready. I click the camera. Smile, please. Cheese, okay. But the divine photographer, God the cameraman, will never tell you, be ready and steady. Come on, you take the film. Whether it's a back or front, we do not know. Bhagavan gave another example. It is like a cheetah or a tiger waiting behind the bush. When you walk along the way, when it falls on you, when it attacks you, when you are going to be killed, you do not know. You simply pass by and the tiger, tada, it will attack you, that's all. Therefore, never consider the body the permanent. Tummidi torrala tolubammayidi. This body is a doll after all. Body is a doll with 9 holes. 1 hole is enough to give the trouble. Try with your car tire putting 1 hole. This has 9 holes, easy to get out. Any time, through any exit. That's what Swami has said. And another stanza, very interesting. This is a song composed by him. Since I do not know the tune, I could not. You are spared for this morning. And then this is a song, he says. And in the same song, there is another stanza. Tarataramu susthiramanipinchanu. Tarataramu susthiramanipinchanu. Life after life, we think we are permanent. After all, other fellows may die, but I will not. Other fellows may die because of lack of medical care, lack of money. No. I live in the colony, surrounded by medical people, so I will not die. See that. So, in life after life, we firmly believe that we are permanent. Paramavastala palu cheyutu. Paramavastala palu seyutu. In every life, we undergo difficulties again and again, same difficulty. Birth, growth and death. Same gas cylinder trouble, school admission trouble, children trouble, neighbors trouble, office trouble, life of same stuff. But still we like it and consider that we are permanent. There cannot be greater joke than human life. Human life is a big joke. In spite of repeated births and deaths, we have not learnt anything. We consider every lifetime permanent and eternal, which is not. That's what Bhagavan says. Maruni musambidi marugu padunura paramatmudu salpina maya pomara. In the next moment, out. This is a doll. Human body is a doll made by God. It is a toy made by God. It may be taken away, withdrawn, any moment. Understand. Therefore, never consider that you are eternal. These are all the statements in support of Isavasya Upanishad, which wants us to give up sacrifice, name and form, tyenat chiktena. Then comes bhunjita, taste the divinity thereafter. Let us taste the divinity. How to do that? Bhagavan tells you very, very clearly. My friends, I strongly believe, with the understanding of Sai message, all scriptures can be understood much better than otherwise. Because Swami's teachings are so simple that even toughest things can be conveyed in a beautiful, simple style. Complicated things are made simple by God. Simple things are made complicated by man. Therefore, we want complication everywhere. We want to complicate life, complicate mind, complicate situation. Therefore, blood pressure, sugar problems. Therefore, my friends, from the backdrop of Bhagavan, we can understand very well. What does he say? Simply how to taste the divinity, how to experience the reality. First step, Dehamu pancha bhautikamu, Dehamu kulaka tappade pudum, Dehamu pancha bhautikamu. The body is made up of senses, 5 senses of action, 5 senses of cognition. The body is made up of senses and it is bound to go. It is bound to disappear. You cannot stop it. That's okay. The second statement, follow that. Dehi niramayundu. Dehi niramayundu. The indweller, the spirit within me is eternal. Consciousness within me is permanent, while the body is not. Swami, I don't understand. When I am not permanent, how can my consciousness be permanent? When I am not there, my consciousness also cannot be there. That is our question. Baba explains clearly. Suddenly, the bulb, the filament is lost. When the filament is lost, when the bulb is burnt, what do? You throw it away. But still there is current. No, sir, I have thrown away the bulb. Therefore there is no current. Please put your fingers there. You will know whether current is there or not. Therefore, my friends, it is the bulb that has been giving you the light. It is the bulb that got burnt, but current is present. Then, now and in future, it continues to be present. Likewise, the consciousness was, is and will be. Consciousness was, is and will be in existence. But the body, like a bulb, gets burnt, dropped off, so that you can have a new bulb. We don't keep hopeless bulb there. Do you? No. Replace a new birth. That is a rebirth. That is a rebirth. Therefore, Dehi Niramayundu Ganu Timpaga Dehi Kitsavu Puttukallevu. This indweller consciousness has no birth, has no depth. Inquire, understand clearly. Moha Nibandhanalu Mudralu Levu. It's only for Baba who could say that. Moha Nibandhana Mudralu Levu. The consciousness has no attachment. It is only mind that has got attachment. That is making our life miserable. Therefore, there is no attachment to the consciousness. There is no liberation either to the consciousness. Because the consciousness is beyond attachment and liberation. It is only mind that gets attached and liberated. Simple example. When I go into the room, after finishing my job, I come out. Right? Another person can't come out on my behalf. It's not possible. The one who has entered only exits. Am I clear? Similarly, it is the mind that got attached and the same mind that has got to be detached. The consciousness neither is attached nor to be detached. That which is attached has to be detached. That which is never attached, the question of detachment does not arise. A fellow who appears for the examination, you can say he passed or failed. The fellow who never appeared for examination, passed? No. Failed? You can't say that. Similarly, where it is the mind that got attached and it is the mind that has to be detached, but not the consciousness. Moha Nibandhanala Mudralulevu Nizambu Chuda Dehiye Devadevudu. Dehiye Devadevudu. The indweller, the consciousness in you, in everyone, is God. Ganutimpaga Atmarupudav. God is present in the form of Atma in the individuals. You taste it, Bhunjida. That's what Ishavasya Upanishad says. You taste this. How? By knowing that the indweller is permanent, that the Dehi is immortal, that Dehi or consciousness is neither attached nor detached, and that it is totally divine. This you taste it, and that's what Upanishad says. Swami gives some example. It seems a boy was crying. Somebody said, "Oh boy, why do you cry?" This boy said, "My mother is gone, therefore I am crying." It seems his mother died, therefore this boy is crying. He says, "My mother is gone, therefore I am crying." Some wise man happened to pass by that side and said, "Oh boy, why do you cry? My mother is gone, therefore." He said, "Where is she?" "Your mother is here," the dead body, right? Her name is that right? Yes, that's her name. Is she not your mother? Yes. Why do you say she has gone? The body is there. The dead body is there. The dead body also has a name. But the boy says, "My mother is gone." Where had she gone? "Your mother is here. Why do you cry?" Then the boy could understand that his mother is not the body, that there is something deeper, something the life which is withdrawn out of this body. That example Baba gives. And Baba gives another example. At one time, at the age of 10, you are a boy. At the age of 20, you are a man. At the age of 30, you are a father. At the age of 50 or 60, you are a grandfather. What is true? Sir, grandfather is true, I see. If grandfather is true, then how about the father? Unless you are father, you cannot become grandfather. People may call you grandfather because you look old, but you are not. So the boy, the man, father, grandfather is one and the same. It is the body condition that went on changing. You are same. Similarly, the indweller is very much same as Baba says. Further, Swami gives another example. Viluvale neenupa pettei dehambu pettelola nagalu pettinatlu. Are examples? What kind of examples? We are living in the company of Avatar, who gives examples from our daily life, daily situations, with all the articles and the furniture that we have at home. Body is an iron safe. Almirah, Lord is Almirah. It has no value. Pettelo nagalu pettinatlu, pettelo nagalu pettinatlu. There in the Almirah, in the locker, we keep all jewels and all costly gems, diamonds, costly things are there. In the Almirah, the iron safe has no value, but the jewels inside are highly valuable. Similarly, Viluvale inupa pettai dehambu. This body has no value. Pettelo nagalu pettinatlu. Pettelo nagalu pettinatlu. In this iron safe are kept highly valuable jewels, the gold, the diamonds. Teraku ivala jivi devudu avalanundu. Karyamivala avala karanambu. Karyamivala avala karanambu. Beautifully explains. On this side of the curtain you have got the individual. Behind the curtain you find God. In front of the curtain you have the effect. Behind the curtain the cause. It is only the curtain that is separating. Cause there, karana. The effect, karya, is here. Jivi, the individual, is here. Deva, God, is there. Behind the curtain. Remove the curtain. Jiva, Deva are one. The cause and effect are one. It is only the curtain that separates. That is real taste. Bhunjita. That is the real taste of the divinity. Bhunjita. To understand the real taste of the divinity is to know that it has no beginning, it has no end, it has no birth, it has no death, it has no attachment, it has no liberation. Taste that divinity. Then comes the third statement of Ishavasyopanishad. Ma grudha kasya siddhanam. Ma grudha kasya siddhanam is the third statement of Ishavasyopanishad. What do you mean by that? Ma grudha kasya siddhanam, meaning, oh man, don't expect, don't desire to get somebody's money. Don't aspire for money. Don't expect or steal or take away money from others. Don't expect money from others. Ma gurdha kasya siddhanam. Don't expect anybody's money. Don't accept money from anybody. That is Upanishad says. Well, I am not accepting money because nobody is giving me also. But what is money, my friends? Money is not currency note alone. What is wealth? Sampada. Sampada meaning wealth. Ma buddha kasya siddhanam. This dhanam, wealth. What is this wealth? Dhanam means wealth. What is dhanam? Don't expect somebody's wealth. What is dhanam? Dhanam meaning that which attracts you. That which attracts you, which is non-existent. The wealth of reputation, the wealth of a good name, the wealth of knowledge, all these are in non-existence. They are not there. There is only imagination. That's all. One example. It seems one gentleman is carrying 500 rupee note. He is very happy. Right? Whose is that? This is my 500 rupee note. Is that clear? Then this 500 rupee note started laughing. Oh, am I yours? No. Before I came to you, I was in the pocket of somebody else. Before I was in the pocket of that man, I was in the chest of drawers of somebody else. Before that, I was in the almirah of somebody else. Before that, I was in the bank. So to whom do I belong? Currency note does not belong to anybody. You think it is mine. It lasts useless fellow, stop it. When you go to the market, I will go to that fellow. It is not yours. It's if two brothers are fighting, telling this land belongs to me. The other brother says, no, this land belongs to me. Then land started laughing. Before you were born, I belong to your father. Before he was born, I belong to your grandfather. Before he was born, I belong to your great-great-great-grandfather. Shut up, I don't belong to anybody. You may claim, but I don't belong to anybody. Just you think that I belong to you now, but I don't. That's clearly said. So, ma gurrakkasya siddhanam, meaning that which is in non-existence, that which is not present. Why do you want it? Why do you want it which is non-existent? Why do you desire for that which is not there? Am I clear? Ma buddhakkasya, don't expect that. Now Swami tells you like this. Series of questions. Talidandrulevaru. Who are father and mother? Who are they? Ilanu Shatrulevaru. Who are your enemies? Who are your friends? Dhanamulevarivi. This wealth, to whom do they belong? Dhanyamulevarivi. The grain, yes, whose property is this? Gruhamulevarivi. The residences, to whom they belong. Can you say that? Manavevaramo, purvamevaramo, tirigi echatundumo, emo teliyavlemo. We do not know who we were before birth. We do not know where we are going to be at the end of this life. Why do you want to have this wealth of the body? The wealth of the mind, intelligence. The wealth of the body, the physical strength, which are non-existent, which are not real. Why do you want it? Ma gurdhakkasya siddhanam. Don't desire, don't aspire these things. That's what Upanishad tells. Swami gives another nice poem. He composed a song also. Swami composed 500 songs. Do you know that? Even more. 500 songs he has written. And also gave good tunes to them also. They are not brought to light. People know his poems and discourses, not songs. Therefore I have taken up that job of making a comparative study of his songs. Comparative study. Because his songs and the content and their meaning, the feeling, the sentiment, their meaning are very much same as Tyagaraja Kirtanas. They are very much same as Annamacharya. They are very much same as Purandardasa, Ramadasa, great composers, great musicians. Therefore, what I have done now is this. Take parallels, make a comparative study, and let people know that Baba is a musician. He is not merely a speaker. He is not merely a writer of poems. He is a divine composer. He is a musician. So far about 10 articles have come in Telugu Sanatana Sarthi. They are being translated in English. I wish that they would come to light someday, God willing. In this poem, what Swami explains is this. Rupaya karaku lopaya kariga adamaina gaddi tintaraya. Rupaya karaku lopaya kari. For money's sake, the fellow will not hesitate to do any mean thing for money's sake. Dhanamu kosamu, daivajanalu bonalu, koti pannagamulu panneraya. It is only for money. Some people meditate, I should be rich enough. It's only for money. People make offering to God, coconuts, chakra pongal, pulihara. Why? If God goes on eating whatever you give, nobody will go to the temple. Because we get the same stuff back home, we go to the temple. See? That's what it is. And we have all the knack, all the plans to collect money, to gather money, to amass money. Ranga lingayanchu donga mukkulu mukki panganamamu pedataraya. All our prayers are false. False prayers, false bhajans. Because the intention is money, money, money. Itaralu erugakunna Iswarunderugada. Others may not know your drama, but the director knows. The director knows. So you cannot keep anything in camera. You cannot cover his eyes. He knows. Tagina falamulu anubhavistaraya. For every action, there is equal and opposite reaction. Whatever you do today, you have to face tomorrow its consequences and its results. That's what Swami says. Then comes the fourth point of the Upanishad. Therefore, my friends, first point, having known that the whole universe is full of divinity, and the second point, having come to know that we have to give up name and form to experience the divinity, and now comes the next aspect, what we call. And the third point being not to expect any wealth from anybody, not to aspire for it. The fourth point of Ishavasya Upanishad, the final point, 4 points, that's all. The fourth point is experience oneness of divinity. Experience that oneness of the divinity. That is the fourth point, point after point. Just as in mathematics, just as in physics, just as equations, chain reactions in chemistry, the Upanishad also explains point after point in a pakka, logical, scientific way. Therefore, my friends, never consider that Upanishads are dogma, that Upanishads stand for fanatism. No, you are a fool and a double fool if you think like that. Upanishad is science. Upanishad is technology. Upanishad is mathematics. Point after point, a scientific way, giving you no scope for any kind of ambiguity or doubt. It dispels all your, clears all your doubts. The final point, Therefore, what should I do now? I have understood that the body is temporary. I have understood there is God in me. I have understood that the divinity in me has no beginning nor an end, neither attachment nor liberation. I also have learned the lesson not to aspire, not to expect the wealth which is non-existent. So what should I do now? The final thing is experience that oneness. What is that oneness? That oneness of divinity. Because God is the only one, nothing else. Nothing else, the one without the second. He is the only one, ekatva. Only one. The individuals, the objects, the oceans, the rivers, the plants, animals, they are all non-existent. Basically, divine. That's what Baba says. You are God, I am God. This table is God, this book is God. He goes on explaining on the dais. We simply hear, all right, when he says God, why can't I say yes? That's our psychology. So what does he say? Experience that oneness. My friends, I'm just summing up. With this, I want your special attention. Where we have gone wrong. There are two paths now. That's what we follow. One is the path of action, karma marga. The second is path of knowledge. Path of karma marga, the action is avidya. Avidya, A-V-I-D-Y-A, avidya. Whereas path of knowledge is vidya. Well, we think the path of karma, action, will take me to that state of experiencing the divinity. What is karma, action? Worship, puja, dhyana, meditation, yajna, yaga, all these are actions, sacred actions, karma, service, everything comes under karma. That will not take you to the reality. That will not help you to taste the divinity. No. On the other hand, we receive blessings from elders. Kurmanne veha karmani jiji vishe shatakam samar. Oh man, live for 100 years doing sacred actions, sacred rituals. That is blessing. But that will not give you liberation. That is not the be all and end all. No. Why? Action will liberate you from this state of death and then take you to higher state of awareness, of higher state of consciousness, of higher state of awakening, higher state of enlightenment. What we call Pitru Loka. Pitru Loka meaning higher state of awareness, higher state of enlightenment. Where our fathers and forefathers stay there. It is just symbolic. But the in-depth higher state of awareness. It is a temporary phase again. So avidya or karma or path of action will not help you to experience that oneness, that only divine exists without the second. You cannot get it. At the most, you will go to the higher state of awakening, enlightenment, that's all. Then what is the second path? The path of knowledge, vidya. This also will not help you. Why? This knowledge will help you to be at a highest level of an angel, of a deity or devata. Brahma, Vishnu, Maheshwara, Durga, Kali, Saraswati, number of gods are there, number of deities. You will go that state. But that's not end all again. So my friends, vidya, vidya, that's what you call path of knowledge. Avidya, the path of action, will not help you to taste the divinity, to find that oneness with the divine. No, it will not help you. It is very, very clearly said in Upanishads. Alright, if I go to higher state, what if let me go there? If I have a higher state of deities of Devata, let me be there? No, my friend. Baba gives a number of examples. You go to the parliament, you are a member of the parliament now, very good. You are not going to be in the parliament till the end of your life. 5 years, then you have to return. Vote of no confidence, before time you have to return also. You understood? So, your position in the parliament is for 5 years. In the assembly is 5 years. Similarly, this Devata Loka, the realm of Devata, the state of eternity, is temporary. That you attain through the path of knowledge, avidya. And through the path of karma, avidya, you also reach a higher state of Pitruloka, where our fathers and forefathers stay there, meaning higher realm of understanding is also temporary. Something like 5 years of stay in the parliament and legislature. We have to return. Return where? Back to earth. What to do? Punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam, punarapi janani jatare sayanam, punarapi janani jatare sayanam, govindam bhajamudavate, bhaja govindam bhajamudavate, samprate nihite ekale. Nahi rakshati dukram karane. Clearly said in Bhaja Govindam, punarapi jananam, punarapi maranam. You have to be born again. The cycle of birth and death repeats. Either you follow the path of vidya, knowledge, or path of avidya, the action. Punarapi, you have to be born again. So what should I do now, oh God? What should I do now? Both the paths are useless. What shall I do now? Baba explains. Murkha buddhiyandu muriyu karmambu. A foolish man wants to do it again. I'm not blaming anybody, don't misunderstand me. I respect everybody. I see some people going around Ganesha there, full of tension. Ganesha is not anxious to see you, and he doesn't want you to run and frighten him like that. Ganesha is comfortably seated, but you unnecessarily make him feel tensed because you are in tension. You want to create tension in him also. Murkha buddhiyandu muriyunu karmambu. Murkha buddhi, a foolish man does it like that. I also know some people of the older generation. They will have this talisman or japamala. Coffee in that? Servant maid uchinda? Side up. Saat sevi, come on, take it. Side up. I don't know why. Murkha buddhiyandu muriyunu karmambu. It is only a foolish mind that entertains such an action. Yes. You go on rotating japamala, thinking of the first breakfast and coffee and all that, shouting at everybody. What kind of japa is it? Some people also will have, they read Bhagavad Gita. They have a vow that they should read one chapter. They are waiting to finish it off. Hare Krishna is not in a hurry. Why should you in a hurry? Himalayan foolishness. Not oceanic foolishness. And also some people worship you, take flowers. throw it on his face. Something like arrows or missiles. I don't understand. Where is the reverence? Where is the respect? Where is the reverence? Even if a garland, I cannot throw it like that. I should just put it around your neck. What is all this? Therefore, all the karma that we do is our karma, the fate I tell you. It's not that. Murkha buddhiyandu muriyunu karmambu karma falamu valana kalugu janma karma falamu valana kalugu janma. It is action which is responsible for birth and rebirth, understand it. No sir, I am worshipping twice a day. Worship thrice a day and be born 3 times. It can't help you. Puttuta gittuta rende janmaku gatti vanu sumadi talachandi. The birth and death are sure. You please understand. Vatti bhramalato munigi karmalu etti cheyavaka melagandi. Vatti bhramalato munigi karmalu. You do it not under the cover of illusion, of imagination. Some people think that I want a medical seat, so go around Ganesha. Instead of Ganesha, name medical seat, medical seat, medical seat, medical seat. Do you mean say that he cannot hear you? It won't help you, Therefore, Baba says clearly, Anda tamaha pravishanti ye avidyam upasate tatopyandhamivate tamoya uvijayam rataha. Either the field of action or the field of knowledge would help you to experience that. Only one, the reality, the divinity. So finally, my friends, Ishavasya Upanishad tells you the result. The result. We want results, yes. Why should I know that oneness? Why should I know that there is only one without the second? What do I get? The result is this. There is no misery. There is no attachment if you experience this oneness. If this is separate from me, I can get attached. This is separate from me, I get attached. When there is nothing, there is no second, where is the question of attachment? Supposing I am talking. Because you are hearing, I am talking. If everybody leave the hall, if I go on talking, what will happen? They will say, before 1 hour he was all right. When he started Upanishads, we thought that something will happen. Don't you think so? So my friends, conversation needs 2 people. I should talk to you. I should serve you. I should give you. I should teach you. 2 always. But when there is only one, where is attachment? There is no second object to be attached. Where is the liberation? You are not attached. Where is the question of liberation? Therefore, by having this idea of oneness, there is nothing like attachment. There is nothing liberation, because only one that exists. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. Satyam Brahma Jnanam Brahma Anantam Brahma. Satyam Jnanam Anantam Brahma. That infinity, the only one that exists. So nothing to worry about it. Next Sunday, we will take up the next Upanishad, Keno Upanishad, God willing. Asato ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrutyorma amrutangamaya loka samasta sukhi सुखिनो भवन्तु लोका समस्ता सुखिनो भवन्तु लोका समस्ता सुखिनो भवन्तु. Sai Ram. I have one pleasant announcement to make. Last week, last Sunday, a book, Sai Vedam, was released by Bhagavan. This Sai Vedam consists of our Sunday talks. Our Sunday talks over the years are published in 4 volumes. The first volume is Sai Sandesh. The second volume, Sai Psychology. Third volume, Divine Daffodils. The fourth one is Sai Vedam. The fifth one, Sai Blossoms, is under print. I am very glad to say that all the Sunday works are recorded and also videotaped, headed by Brother Lucky, who is here, and his team of translators and transcribers. The whole and the sole total credit goes to Brother Lucky and his team of translators and transcribers. But for them, these books would not have come to light at all. The Sai world of devotees, whoever that say that books are good, that talks are good, we should express our grateful thanks to Lucky and his team for taking the trouble of recording and transcribing, translating in 6 or 7 international languages. And all these talks are kept in the computer website saiwisdom.com. That's available in 6 of the foreign languages. I pray Bhagavan's choicest blessings to be showered on them. The translators and transcribers, we are very, very grateful to them. At the same time, I also appreciate, acknowledge with thanks the services of Brother Satish, who is also making a video of every talk. And the website saiwisdom.com has video also because of that the tireless striving, dedicated, devoted effort of Satish, who got married a few days ago. May Bhagavan bless him, a happy married life. On behalf of all of you, on behalf of my own, I request Brother Lucky to come and receive this copy. Sai Vedam, Brother Lucky. जय बोलो भगवान श्री सच्चाई बाबा जी की जय बोलो भगवान श्री सच्चाई बाबा जी की जय बोलो भगवान श्री सच्चाई बाबा जी की साई राम.
Om Namo Narayana. Om.